I definitely understand that you are frustrated with that, and we are trying to understand all the different presentations. We looked at a lot of different alternatives. We're going to go back and look at them again.
I think, if I just can interject, I think that's part of our concern and some of the anger and frustration that's coming through, is it sounds like you didn't really take into account the sort of uniqueness of the honoring row and the party place, and it feels like it's just sort of a cookie cutter, well, this is how we do it, so this is how we're going to do it, and here's the reason why. When our homes are just unique enough that I don't think that's appropriate, and frankly, you're messing with property values or retirements in a way that it just doesn't feel like
health,
took
our
it into account to
environment,
begin
our
with. And I
kids.
appreciate that you are now, but it also feels like you just like, it doesn't feel like anyone's driven past there, and no one has asked me, hey, can I take a walk in your backyard? Like, nobody has come to us to really appreciate what is actually going to happen.
Yeah, I just understand the concern.
If I could just add to that, it's ultimately about the trade-off of the disruption of service to these things. So mainly all the concerns we have are concerns because of the fact that you don't want to have any disruption to service, right? You want to maintain the new track operating and everything, keep all your riders happy during this relatively short phase of construction compared to the forever passage. We're all going to be dead by the time this changes, right? It's going to be permanent. And so it's frustrating to know that because we don't want to disrupt riders for a short term, we have to all live with the consequences of what's being done.
Yeah,
That's
and
ultimately what,
look at, we've all looked in the Jane Byrne, and they've shut that down multiple times, 5 a.m. or midnight, by the entire freeways in one of the biggest cities in the country shut down. So how can a train bridge cause this much problem when they rolled the Montrose Bridge over, the overpass on Montrose, on the Kennedy? That was closed for a while for a weekend, and they rolled it in.
I think it's also important to note, the levels at which ridership currently stands.
Right.
There
And
is-
the on-time,
and that will
I'm
not
sorry,
that
on
will
that.
not return to normalcy. Right?
2014 to 2019.
Yeah.
Before the campaign.
And there was just an article that only 25% of companies are having full.
Correct. Yeah.
Or 25% of employees are actually going to.
That might change though.
Going.
That's irrelevant.
we'd like to see it a little bit as, hey, this is how we're going to slightly disrupt service and try to minimize the impact.
Like with the track
preserve all
exchange,
green
perhaps?
spaces. I mean, it does seem like there's alternatives that are really legitimately considered. It's like you're going to get a wall no matter what happens in this room.
But with these comment cards, you're giving us false hope. Like, if you all don't like it, we're gonna listen. You're not. Because you have your designs and it's picked A, B, C, D, E, F, G wall with a pretty thing, and you want a gel fence or not.
I want to address a couple of these comments, and then I do know that we have to get back, and we have one more person with their hand up. But in terms of the individual concerns of property owners, we have had lots of individual meetings with property owners. We've opened that up as a forum. We've been out on site. We continue to welcome people to contact us if they're adjacent property owners so that we can understand their unique considerations. We've done a lot of meetings. I spent 3 days doing meetings with adjacent property owners.
With who? I mean,
So we've met. I mean, I've met.
we have not met. We video chatted, and you did not meet that part.
So I think
It hasn't changed the
the
outcome.
design team especially
You
will
haven't
be
come out
meeting
to see
with the
33
parties.
of the houses.
I think we need to find a way to talk with all of you effectively, because you're a large group.
Yeah, we're a large group, and my husband is in contact with Melody, and she gives the same stock answers that.
So I think that you said my last question. I appreciate your openness to saying you're open to community feedback. Can we have your commitment today to an additional open forum where we get to ask questions? Your team is organized and ready, prepared to ask the questions. A forum that I think majority of us here today were expecting. Can we get your commitment today to have an open forum to answer our neighborhood concerns?
Meeting like this, and when.
Yes or no will help.
So honestly, that is slightly outside of the scope of some of our current consultant contracts, but I will bring that back to Metra and talk to people about it, and we'll get a response on our website as soon as we can.
So you're saying officially you cannot commit today to an open forum to hear community concerns?
I'm not sure when,
No,
so.
she said yes or no, can you commit, not a date.
We cannot commit to it. We can commit to.
And you work for Metra?
Yeah.
So we can put that on the record, that even though you did say the WBDM comment, because I read it.
We will ask if that's
If
something.
you're
we
Metra,
want
why can't you
There are people above us.
Vote no.
Bring up.
Really? We can't say yes for another meeting? Are you
Where's our
kidding me?
community liaison?
Who has
today?
their balls in a
Where is
bunch?
she today?
Jesus.
Where's our community liaison today?
Right. This is pathetic. Yeah, looking around. Who, what?
Back there, she's here today.
Okay, yes or no? Another meeting.
We could introduce you to her, like, so. I don't have the authorization to change consultant contracts unilaterally. I have to go and talk to my supervisors and get that approved. But
Thank
we
you
will
for
try to
answering.
do that as soon as possible.
Thank you for answering that. That's all I want.
Yeah, there's no impact, like how much is it reducing, service? And let's not understand, like, what you guys are willing to give up to kind of give like a
Yes, that would be.
And proof that you're on time is 98%, because I remember seeing a bunch of tweets of Metra's running 40 minutes late, this line's running.
So he was saying that was for the UP North line specifically, which has less freight interference than other lines, so I don't know.
I don't want to be curious about all the alternatives you considered and why those work. Like what the impact of the Metro versus
Also, you're updating 150-year-old infrastructure, and I'm supposing that you guys are renovating it for another 150 years, if not longer. And we ask that you keep that in mind. This is not about 6 years or 7 years where ridership would be impacted. These are communities. 25 years ago, Lincoln Park and Lakeview were industrial. Actually, Picardy Place sits on a warehouse, and our houses are built on the parking lot of that old warehouse or factory. Today, they're not. Today, there are million-dollar homes, communities that are building and contributing taxpayers. We're growing the community. We're growing, gentrifying, changing the north side, and you guys are encroaching at everything that's been done over the last 20 years. Your pictures show the environmental development that we've developed. We talk about fauna, we talk about birds and animals in the middle of the city. We live in the city, but we have a suburban feel because of what was developed there. And you guys are coming in because of 6-year impact on ridership and taking all of that away. You would have our support if you guys do not encroach. 25 feet, I'm trying to imagine what 25 feet is. That's being in our backyards. The trains are already in our backyards. 25 feet more is hard to fathom.
Window. And all the pollution, right? You know, as we're sitting out on our back deck, all that pollution.
I do want to just clarify, because there's been a lot of things talked about property. The track is always going to be on Union Pacific property. There's not any shifting into people's backyards. It's going to be the proposal would still be on Union Pacific property.
The center of the track is going to be closer. not the
If you
train.
60 feet from your house or 5 feet from your house, that's a pretty big difference.
And we're not, if there were no other options in the world, we would understand that. But we're asking to see the other options because you keep saying our comment cards matter. Well, I think I can speak for everyone in this room that none of us want a wall that looks like the Joliet prison with a chain link fence on top.
So I think we're at that time where we've heard a lot of feedback. There's still some time for people to go and get individual questions answered at the boards. There's comment cards. We are looking for feedback on the wall. We don't want it to look like Joliet prison. No one does. We want to get.
Why are you saying that?
Why is the wall more than
We're getting barbed wire on the top of a fence where we're the only ones that can answer.
We thank you for improvising with us, giving us this forum.
And we're not going
We will
to.
respectfully adjourn, but we thank you for doing this. We hope that there's one. We expect that there will be one very soon, so we can stay in open dialogue, not siloed. We plan to be cohesive and collaborative, and we hope that you'll be the same.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.